off of VMware's website. In fact, I have already, and I've connected it up here to the D drive of this computer. And you'll see VMware Data Recovery, and you'll see there's a recovery client plugin that I would plug into the vSphere client. I can also explore the media for additional components, right, for the appliance, for the just other stuff. Right, you'll see here, here's the VMware Restore client. Here is the OVF that is associated with the VMware Data Recovery appliance. The first thing I want to do here is I want to actually get to this VMware Data Recovery appliance and actually get it installed just like I would any, well, OVF thing that we talked about in that last nugget. So let me go here to File, and I want to deploy an OVF template just like I did before, and I want to deploy this from this location. So here's that data recovery OVF file. Right, this is 1 gigabyte thin provision, so it's very small. Here, there's the end user license agreement. We're going to call it VMware Data Recovery, put it on the cluster, just all the stuff that we're used to thinking of associated with creating a new virtual machine. I'm going to thin provision it. I'm going to map it to network 1 here. Set the time zone, and then ready to complete. So that's actually going to go about creating that VMware Data Recovery appliance. And as you can see there, it's deploying the disk now. This process isn't going to take very long because, as I said before, it's only about 1 gigabyte in size. Once it's done deploying, there's a little bit of configuration that's required. Now, this configuration can either happen on the console of this data recovery appliance, or you can access it via a web browser. But what I have done is create it as a separate virtual machine here. You see I got VMware Data Recovery, and to manage this VM, you can browse to this location, 192.168.0.195480. Down here, I can configure the network if I want. I can set the time zone if I want. There's really not that much to see. I can even log in if I want as root. Interestingly enough, the root password, if you are just fresh logging in, you've never logged in before, the root password, if I can type it in right, is vmw@re. So you don't have to look that up. If you want to log in and actually see what it looks like from the command line, that's what it looks like, vm@re. Now, most of us, however, are probably more, user interface friendly. So if we go to this 192.168.0.19 location here, I've actually brought this up so we can take a look at it. And you'll see if I punch in root and then vmw@re, I can log in, and now I can see all the fun information about this server. There's not much to do here because this is not really the interface for working with it. This is the interface for configuring it. I can reboot it, I can shut it down. I can set the time zone here if I want to, whatever makes sense for my time zone. And I can also set the network settings here. Right now it's just set to 192.168.0.19 because that's what my DHCP server has given it. But I can adjust this if I want. Okay, so all of this is really the information you would need in order to get this thing up and running on the network with the proxy information and address information. Now there's another client piece that's actually required in order to be successful with this thing, and that's the Data Recovery Client plugin. Let's actually install this. We click Next here and Next and go through all the usual stuff for installing the Data Recovery Client plugin. And once this is complete, it will actually install this Data Recovery Client plugin here into my vCenter environment. Okay, you'll see if I go to Manage Plugins and actually give it a minute to refresh, and you'll see that the VMware Data Recovery plugin is now installed and available for use here in the vSphere client. What it does actually is it adds here under this home list another solutions and applications node here called VMware Data Recovery. This plugin is essentially your connection from vSphere client into the appliance, the VMware Data Recovery appliance that you've installed. One of the first things you'll have to do is either drop in the name or IP address of what the appliance is. You'll see it's already been pre-populated here because it includes the words VMware Data Recovery in the VM's name over here on the left. If I click the connect button after a minute or two, it'll actually connect me into the data recovery appliance and allow me to create backup and restore jobs. Now remember, this is a disk-to-disk based backup solution, so the very first thing that's required for you is to actually figure out what sort of destination you want to create as a location for storing your data. I've actually created here on the C drive a share called C and then backups. And then I've shared this out, so it's just your standard Windows share. And then once it's been shared out, you can actually go here into the configuration tab and right-click to choose to add another network share. Now, if you do so, you'll see that you get this error message reminding you that it's not a good idea to utilize network shares larger than 0.5 terabyte in size because of performance considerations. But once you make this connection in here with the URL and a username and password, this can become one of a number of different locations that you can use for actually storing the different data that the backups will actually